Naruto Uzumaki, the loudest, most orange-wearing, ramen-loving, knuckle-headed ninja to ever shout. This guy went from being the village outcast to the ultimate hero, all while rocking a hairstyle that defies gravity and an optimism that could power an entire city. Naruto starts off as a prankster in the Hidden Leaf Village, mostly because everyone treats him like he's carrying a contagious disease, which in a way he is, except instead of a virus, he's got a giant, rage-filled fox demon sealed inside him. Not exactly an ideal childhood, but instead of sulking, Naruto decides to prove to the world that he's worth something by aiming for the highest title in this world, Hokage. His journey? Fighting god-tier enemies and turning cold-hearted villains into sobbing, therapy-needing besties. He doesn't just punch bad guys into submission. He emotionally destroys them with the power of friendship and really long speeches about never giving up. And let's not forget his iconic battles, facing off against the most powerful shinobi in the world, surviving a ninja war, and convincing his broody best friend Sasuke to stop being an edgy loner and come back to the village for some good ol' ninja bonding. His ultimate win? Becoming Hokage and proving every single person who doubted him dead wrong. Naruto isn't just a hero because he's powerful. He's a hero because he refuses to let anyone be alone, he never quits, and he turns his pain into strength. Also, he eats more ramen than any human should logically be able to consume, which is heroic in its own way. Son Goku. Son Goku, the spiky-haired, bottomless, stomached, super-powered warrior from Dragon Ball, is basically what happens when you mix an overenthusiastic gym bro with an intergalactic demigod and sprinkle in just enough naivety to make him both lovable and mildly concerning. This dude crash-landed on Earth as a baby and decided punching things really hard was his true calling. He trains obsessively, eats enough to bankrupt entire restaurant chains, and somehow always manages to save the universe with a combination of grit, guts, and an ever-expanding list of increasingly dramatic hair colors. Despite being strong enough to turn planets into marbles, he's got the emotional intelligence of a golden retriever, loyal, lovable, and just a little too eager to fight literally anything that moves. If a villain shows up threatening to destroy everything, Goku's first instinct isn't, oh no, we're doomed, but rather, sweet, a new guy to punch. He even lets his enemies power up just to keep things interesting, because winning too easily would be, well, boring. Through sheer dumb luck, ridiculous power-ups, and a heart bigger than his biceps, he somehow remains one of fiction's most iconic heroes. He might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but when it comes to saving the day, nobody does it better. Superman. Superman is that overachieving extraterrestrial Boy Scout in blue tights who decided that leaping over buildings wasn't impressive enough, so he just started flying instead. Born on the doomed planet Krypton, he crash-landed in Kansas, where he was raised by two of the most wholesome humans ever to exist. Instead of using his godlike powers for world domination or at least winning every Olympic gold medal, he chose to dedicate his life to truth, justice, and reminding everyone that glasses are the perfect disguise. He's the guy who can punch asteroids in half, hear your excuses from across the globe, and bench press the moon, yet somehow still struggles with office drama and a love triangle where both women are technically the same person. His only weakness? A glowing green rock that somehow always finds its way into the hands of bald businessmen with questionable fashion choices. Despite all this, Superman remains the ultimate symbol of hope, proving time and again that being the most powerful person in the universe is no excuse for skipping leg day or being a bad guy. So whether he's fighting Lex Luthor, saving Lois Lane again, or reminding us that truth, justice, and a better tomorrow are worth fighting for, Superman isn't just a hero, he's the hero. And honestly, who wouldn't want a flying, laser-eyed, super-strong best friend? Spider-Man. Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, is the web-slinging, wisecracking superhero who has taken the world by storm since his debut in 1962. Created by writer Stan Lee and artist Steve Ditko for Marvel Comics, Peter's origin story is one for the ages. A nerdy high school student with more problems than a calculus textbook, he was bitten by a radioactive spider, giving him superhuman abilities like wall-crawling super strength and a sixth sense that helps him dodge danger like a pro. But here's the twist. After the bite, Peter learns that with great power comes great responsibility. The catch? He's still a regular guy dealing with regular problems, like paying rent, keeping his job at the Daily Bugle, and keeping his Aunt May from getting too suspicious about his frequent late-night activities. He's not a billionaire genius like Iron Man or an alien god like Thor. Instead, he's a teenager with acne, awkwardness, and an overwhelming amount of bad luck. His life is a constant balancing act of trying to be a hero while not letting his personal life fall apart. He loses friends, loves, and even himself at times, but he always rises, swinging through the streets of New York with a joke on his lips and hope in his heart. His humor, quick-witted quips delivered in the face of danger, makes him both lovable and memorable. He's the hero who gets knocked down, dusts himself off, and cracks a joke, because what else is there to do? Spider-Man's humor isn't just for laughs. It's a coping mechanism, a shield to protect his vulnerable heart. And in a world where many superheroes are wrapped up in grandiose destiny or godlike power, Spider-Man reminds us that heroism isn't about perfection. It's about doing your best, even when life isn't fair. Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime, the ultimate space dad, the chrome-plated messiah of justice, and the only guy who can make an 18-wheeler look heroic. He's the leader of the Autobots, a race of giant sentient robots who spend their time fighting evil, upholding honor, and, depending on which version you watch, getting blown up and heroically resurrected every other Tuesday. He's got the voice of a god, thank you, Peter Cullen, the heart of a saint, and the ability to throw a semi-truck-sized punch while dropping wisdom so profound it could make Yoda rethink his grammar. Optimus isn't just about punching Decepticons into next week, though, let's be honest, that's always satisfying. He's about leading with compassion, always believing in the potential of others, and making speeches so inspirational they could turn a rock into a freedom fighter. He's been through it all: war, betrayal, multiple deaths, and yet he never stops fighting for what's right. Even when humanity repays his loyalty by either fearing him, trying to dismantle him, or mistaking him for a garbage truck, Optimus still stands tall. Because that's just who he is, a warrior, a leader, and possibly the only robot who could win a Father of the Year award. In the Grand Hall of Legendary Fictional Heroes, Optimus Prime sits comfortably at the top, staring down at the rest with glowing blue optics and a firm but understanding nod. Because when it comes to heroism, self-sacrifice, and the ability to turn into a big rig on command, nobody does it better. Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is the ultimate farm boy turned space wizard, the kind of guy who goes from whining about power converters to blowing up planet-destroying space stations. He's the heart and soul of Star Wars, the wide-eyed kid who stares at twin suns and thinks, yeah, my life's gotta get cooler than this. And oh boy, does it ever. Raised on a desert planet, Luke gets thrown into an intergalactic war, learns the ways of the Force from an old man who conveniently forgets to mention key details like, hey, that terrifying cyborg dude is actually your dad, and somehow manages to stay mostly sane through it all. His training? A crash course in lightsaber waving and life philosophy from a swamp goblin. His plan to save the galaxy? Vibes mostly. But somehow it works. Luke takes down the Empire's biggest weapon, stands up to the baddest guy in the universe, and refuses to give up on the idea that even the most murderous Sith Lord might still have a little bit of good left in him. And guess what? He's right. Because of Luke, Darth Vader ditches the dark side, the Emperor gets yeeted into a pit, and peace returns to the galaxy. And let's not forget the guy's insane growth arc. He goes from an overconfident rookie getting his hand chopped off to a full-blown Jedi Master oozing coolness. He's the ultimate underdog, the hero who believes in hope no matter how many times the odds are against him. James Bond. The world's most famous secret agent is a man so suave he could charm the pants off a mannequin. Created by Ian Fleming in 1953, Bond is the British government's go-to guy for saving the world with nothing but a tuxedo, a dry martini, and an arsenal of one-liners so sharp they could cut through bulletproof glass. He works for MI6, holds the legendary codename 007, and has a license to kill, because apparently, irregular work ID just wasn't cool enough. He makes espionage look way more exciting than it probably is. Real spies probably spend their days filling out paperwork and trying to remember their VPN passwords, but Bond? He's busy seducing females, outdriving missiles in his gadget-loaded Aston Martin, and surviving explosions with his hair miraculously still in place. He's a man who can defuse a nuclear bomb with one hand while sipping a martini with the other. Then there's the villains, because a hero is only as good as the maniacs trying to destroy him. Bond's enemies are a delightful parade of megalomaniacs with ridiculous layers, questionable fashion choices, and elaborate plans that always fail because they insist on explaining them instead of just shooting him. For over 70 years, Bond has been the epitome of cool, proving that being a hero isn't just about saving the world, it's about doing it with style. And of course, making sure your martini is always shaken, never stirred. Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the boy who lived, the chosen one, and quite possibly the worst planner in the history of magical heroism. Created by J.K. Rowling, this bespectacled, slightly underprepared wizard stumbled his way into becoming one of fiction's greatest heroes. How? Mostly by being outrageously lucky, surrounded by competent friends, and possessing an uncanny ability to not die. Born to parents who were tragically offed by a noseless snake man, Harry spent his early years living in a cupboard under the stairs, which in retrospect probably prepared him well for Hogwarts' many death trap-like situations. Upon learning he was a wizard, he was whisked away to Hogwarts, a school where child safety regulations are but a distant myth. There he managed to excel in the one subject that mattered, getting into trouble, and despite having about 5 minutes of actual classroom learning, he defeated a series of increasingly dangerous foes. What makes Harry such a legendary hero? It's mostly sheer determination, a sprinkle of bravery, and the invaluable assistance of Hermione Granger, who really deserved about 80% of the credit for keeping him alive. Ron Weasley also helped, mostly by being there and occasionally saying bloody hell. Yet despite his shortcomings, Harry embodies what makes a hero: courage, loyalty, and an absolute refusal to let evil win. Hey everyone! Thank you all for watching until the end. I'll be back with more videos, so make sure to like and subscribe.